As a pre-med student, I was constantly lost in a sea of bad advice and doubts from other people. Sometimes even my own self-doubt that I would even see myself through the end of this entire process. There were so many days I woke up and I would be worried that the application I submitted didn't have enough clinical experience, enough shadowing, good enough rec letters. Maybe it didn't have an interesting enough personal statement that the in- interviewers really jibed with. I was constantly afraid that I was never enough. The truth is, every pre med gets this feeling of imposter syndrome. This entire process is very difficult, and not everyone that applies ends up making it to the end. In fact, most applicants don't even get accepted, even after all the hours they spend shadowing, volunteering, and studying for the MCAT and for their coursework. This path isn't easy, and you should be glad it was made to be that way. Think about your mother. Would you want your mother to go to a doctor that was lazy and never put in any effort into improving and taking care of others? Would you want to go to a doctor that was passionate about what he was doing and dedicated his life to serving the community? So, the first brutal truth I want to go over is that this journey will always be difficult. Don't think it gets easy at any point. It's not going to get easier when you're a junior in college or a senior in college. It's not going to be easier after you get accepted. It's not going to be easier in your third year of medical school. It's not going to be easier when you're a resident. No point does it get easy. From your first semester as a pre-med to your final years practicing medicine in your 60s, this entire journey is full of difficulties and perils. You are going to have sleepless nights, numerous stressors that eat away at your day, and many times you feel like you're not doing enough. It's not going to get easy at any point, but you will get used to it. Instead of stressing about the fact that this journey is difficult, take comfort in it. Have the mindset shift where instead of constantly thinking about how hard every part of this process is, start to think that, I'm actually glad that it's hard. If it was easy, then everyone would do it. I'm going to repeat that. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Imagine if getting into medical school was easy. Imagine if it had a 100% acceptance rate and there were no requirements for minimum GPA or MCAT. No one asked you about volunteering experiences or shadowing. They just accepted you straight off the bat. Is this really a world we would want to live in, where the laziest and lowest performing people that you've known from high school and college were allowed to be doctors? Where any greedy and morally bankrupt person can look at the average salary of a physician and know that they could easily get into this job with no requirements despite not having an ounce of empathy for their fellow human? So I would say to learn to embrace the difficulty of this entire process and be happy that this process isn't for everyone. Only a select few make it to the finish line, and it's good that it's designed that way. Take pride in that. By the way, if you do want to learn more about learning, motivation, and retention, and receive one-on-one tutoring with me, join a community of like-minded individuals on the same track as you, please click the top link in the description. Let's keep each other all accountable on this journey. The second brutal truth I want to go over is that you can choose your difficulty. I just explained that this entire process will be difficult from start to finish. No matter what you do as a pre-med, this process will be difficult. But there is beauty in knowing that it's going to be difficult no matter what you do. We can choose which difficulties we want to have. For example, I know it's hard for a lot of us to cold email 100 physicians for shadowing opportunities and then not get a single response from any of them. That is such a brutal feeling. But consider that it would also be hard to apply to 30 medical schools without having any shadowing experience and then getting rejected by all of them. That is also a brutal feeling, perhaps even more brutal than the shame of getting ghosted on your emails. As a pre-med, you can take comfort in knowing you always get to choose which hard path you want to go down. Every path you want to take as a pre-med is hard, but you get to choose which difficulties you do want. Know that everything you do in your life will be hard. Either it'll be hard now or hard sometime later in the future. Choose for it to be hard right now. And then the third brutal truth is that average people don't succeed in this path. Only 43% of applicants actually end up getting accepted to medical school each cycle. That means the average applicant, around 3 in 5 people, will spend time working on themselves in their CV, studying for all these difficult prerequisites in college, taking the MCAT, shadowing all these positions, doing research projects, volunteering at local soup kitchens, and then they will still not end up being accepted to medical school after all of this. To succeed in this path, you have to adopt the mindset that being average isn't going to be enough. That's not going to cut it. It's never going to be enough in this tract because we don't want our doctors to be average people. We want the people that take care of our parents and relatives to be the most hardworking and dedicated people in society, to be fully immersed in medicine and doing everything they can to save the lives of the people we care about. We don't want to take some bum off the street and let him operate on people. If you want to succeed as a pre-med, that means you have to go above and beyond. Stop procrastinating by watching these YouTube videos on what you need to do and actually do what you know you need to do. Close YouTube and start as soon as today. You know what task you're putting off. It's the one that popped into your head as soon as I started talking about procrastinating. I want you to close YouTube after you're done watching this video and start working hard on that task. What medicine will teach you is that you can always work harder even if you didn't think you were able to before. Medical school will take what you thought was 100% of your effort and cramp that up to 115%. And do you know what happens after you experience that? Your maximum limit is forever increased from that point on. When that class or rotation or season of your life ends, your new 100% effort is now permanently 15% higher. So when you're pushed the next time and you have to put in 115% of yourself again, your effort will be higher than it was before and it will again be increased by another 15% permanently. Continue to push yourself harder than what you believe you're capable of, and you will adapt. Average people, the reason they don't succeed in this path is because they never try to push beyond maybe like 20 to 30% of what they're actually capable of. I know you're capable of pushing beyond that. So these are some of the brutal truths of the medical journey that I wish I knew when I was starting off as a pre-med in college. I hope these helped you in some way and that you will take action on them. If you want to join a community of like-minded individuals on the same path as you and receive accountability from others, trainings on learning, motivation, and retention, as well as one-on-one tutoring with me, please click the top link in the description. Remember to do the hard tasks, especially when you don't feel like it. I bid you all farewell.